The white dot clear to land. Tail dragger blue off, kept just crossing the white dot, left turn in the grass when able.
Muss jetzt ausmachen.
On the half-mile final clear lane. On a half-mile final, you put it on the number, clear lane runway 9.
Hats per airplane that flew in. So we're glad to be here.
I think the best way to do this, if come, they'll be happy to distribute 2 shirts and 2 hats. I'm not sure if we want to interrupt everyone's dinner, but they're here and they'd like to help distribute these. So
okay, we're coming.
The best way to say it is, come and get them.
Brilliant fellow.
Gangway!
Ja. Mocht ein Glas Wein?
Ich muss erst ein Bier trinken.
Ein Bier.
Erst gut.
Good substitute. John Bartholomew. He arranges the whole barbecue. He arranges, and I'm sure Pat, you have to put up with a lot with that too. Now, we've got a lot of people that help with the barbecue. After it's all arranged by John, we got Al and Linda Hartman, Ken Bobian, Pat Bartholomew, Bill Scott, Darwin at the end of Pulse, John and Judy Camp. The people that are serving the beers, checking your tickets, making sure everything's set up. And by the way, this is the first year since our caravan began, except for the first. All right. That's what I thought. Hell, we're out here to camp. If we can save $2.50, that's like a half a gallon. James Oliphant for the apparel. James, good.
Our German ain't that hot either, so don't worry about it.
Being here,
It's better than Bill's
with Mooney Group, and I thank you very much for that. We had 5 travel days from Munich to Oshkosh. The first leg was Munich to Abicht in Scotland. It was 1,000 miles about, and we had really bad weather in Germany and France with icing at level 100. We had to go down, and thereafter we went at level 180 over clouds and icing just to Scotland. Europe is different to US. When we arrived 60 miles to Stornoway, the controller told us Stornoway was closed. They had midday, you know, half an hour it was closed for lunch or something like this. we should circle a half an hour there. So we diverted to Wick, and Wick was open. It's further north and a little bit east, and it is really good small airport for the takeoff to Iceland. Next morning we went to Iceland. The weather at Wick wasn't too good, but at 6,000 feet we were through the clouds, and we had no fear of the ocean because we only had clouds underneath us. And Iceland, really good. And then the next trip was to Narsarsuaq. Narsarsuaq is in the southern edge of Greenland on the west coast, and we had a low at southwest, and we had tailwind. But the problem was that the ice cape was with within clouds, and the minimum level there is 130, and the icing level was at 8.0. So we got ice, and the Mooney is very critical to ice. Very critical to ice, and we about 100 miles to the ice cave. We went down to get rid of the ice, and then we had to go up again to get over the ice cave. And with the 231, it was no problem. We went up in a few minutes on level 130, and in IMC another 60 miles to the other side where NASA's rock should be clear of clouds, and it was a wonderful view to see all the ice and the mountain, and you had to go once, yes, 13,000 feet down to the airport in the little bay, and it was very bumpy there to land with yes, really bumpy, and it rained a little bit, but also the sun was shining, and we fueled up, made customs, and went up to Goose Bay, and that leg was very good without any icing and good weather. The next day was from Goose Bay to Quebec, and we had headwind of 55 knots. It was not good, but I had an extra tank, so no problem with the fuel. And yes, then 1 hour to Quebec. The autopilot got a problem. It's not fixed now. I don't know why. And but I had a good autopilot from Quebec here to Oshkosh. It was my wife. And the landing was good, no problem. Yes. So a really good trip, and we took a lot of photos and movies. Yes, and if anybody of you comes to Germany, you should phone me up or send me an email. You're very welcome. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Appreciate that. You're going to come back and join us next year and join us in Madison that time and fly with us, right? All right. Everyone, there's plenty of beer left. I know they're putting in the food away, so I hope you got plenty to eat. But we definitely have plenty of beer, and we're definitely going to be doing this again next year. There's a pizza here too. Pizza. As always, let me ask for volunteers. Next year, just like every other year, we experience level of the pilots, and of course whether you paid registration. It does take some money to put this on, does. But just don't, in the future, if you're worried about whether you signed up in May or February, it does not matter. Because if we have a private pilot with 60 hours, and he signed up and he's number 4, he won't be joining us. And if we have somebody that didn't pay their registration and they're number 12, they're not going to be joining us. So in the future, don't worry about when you sign up. Heart into this organization that give it life. The people that help us out, and of course, had to shoot the VOR approach. I've flown the Fisker Rival before. I guarantee our caravan, even
if you don't want to go to the Bahamas, go down Florida into the Florida Keys, and almost as good as the Bahamas.